This is the dual camera system, front and back. This is the DR650S 2-channel, so it's a full HD front camera and a 720p back or rear camera. It has built-in GPS, a G sensor, and Wi-Fi, so you can you can use the BlackVue app on your phone to view the videos that this thing records, or you can hook it up to your computer or pull out the SD card. So I got this on Mass Drop, by the way, so I got a decent price on it. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a better deal than Amazon. So let's see what's inside. So the packaging is nice, and I just dropped that one. Whoops. So don't tip it over, I guess, but anyway, here's what it looks like in the packaging. So this is the rear camera. It's pretty small, and they have this protective plastic wrap on it, which I'll take off once I'm getting ready to install. Looks like they also have a protective cap on the lens itself. That's a nice touch. And this would be the front facing camera, which is much larger than the rear one. So much bigger for the front. That's where everything, all the electronics really are. This one I assume is just the camera and some electronics to send the signal back to the front camera for processing, the front unit. So again, this has a little bit more secure cover on it, which I'll take off. So there's the lens right there. Looks like there's actually a little something on there. It's just some dust or something on the lens, but looks good. So on the back has a couple connections. This one right here is for the rear camera. Of course, they include the wire to wire that up. And then this would be the on-off button, I believe. Perhaps there's some options with that button as well. And then the power in. This pulls off, and that's how you get to where the SD card is. So I just got the 16 gig version. I think I probably have some larger cards laying around, so I'll probably swap it out for a larger card. If not, you can get them pretty cheap anyway, so I figured buy the 16 gig and then upgrade if I need it. Alright, so there's the front camera. So pull this out. I don't think there's anything else going on there. They want me to register. This is a sticker. Not sure why it's a sticker, but it is, so that's interesting. Alright, so now they have a couple little finger indentations here. So remove this box. Jeez. There we go, that works. See what's in here. Alright, so here is the power cord. Plug into the cigarette lighter. Oh look, they even include a trim removal tool. That's nice. I bought some already on Amazon, but that's nice that they include that in case you need to pull some trim off to run the wires or do the install. It's a good deal. A whole bunch of little adhesive pads, and oh, even some little wire clips, stick-on wire clips. That's really nice. I didn't know they were including all that. And they even include a little USB to micro SD connector as well, or you can plug in the SD card here and put that in your computer to get the video files off. Nice. Instruction manual, warranty, and then here's the wire to go, the coax cable to go to the rear camera. That's all that's in the box. So I'm going to go ahead and get this installed for the next step. See ya. Alright, so I'm going to be installing this in my Tesla Model S. which of course already has 3 cameras in the front. Hard to see with the glare, trust me. So, but the new camera is going to go right underneath the existing ones. You can kind of see at this angle better. So it'll be like right along this line. So I'll center it with the windshield, of course. Alright, so I'm going to actually run the wire for the rear camera first. And I'm going to do that. I'll probably use your scene, so there we go. So the room at the top of the top, or in the roof where the sunroof is, and then the rear glass panel, there's a pretty decent gap in here, so I think I'll be able to get that wire running through there no problem. Let me just get the sunroof open and make it easier to work with. So here's the gap. Yeah, there's a ton of room in there. Let's see. So basically, the rear camera wire is going to run from here up along this edge. It'll go tuck in behind this piece, which will then come out up here. And I'll just run it all the way along the edge. And when I get here, I should be able to run it back straight through and then bring it out on the other side here. Bring it back through here along the edge again. Straight on through the back. There is a piece of foam here, so I'll have to figure out how to get in behind that. I think I can still do it pretty easily. Have to see how that works. And then I'll just run it straight underneath that, hopefully, and out the back to plug into the camera. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so I need to decide where I want to put the camera, the front camera. So I've seen some people put it just directly behind the rear view mirror, like this, at the front edge of this piece here. Could also put it somewhere over here. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it was, so I don't know if I like it there or not. It's kind of nice behind the mirror because then you can't really see it unless you're looking for it. And it's adjustable too, so you can turn it. It has this lock button as well. So I think it probably makes more sense to do it in front here, that way the camera's centered a little more. So I'm actually going to end up cutting the cord that came with it, or I could actually go get another barrel connector that's the same size. I'm going to cut it here, because underneath here there is an unused connector. Which I will utilize. So this has a constant 12 volt. There's 3 wires. One's ground, one's 12 volt, and the other one I think maybe is it 5 volt? I'm not sure. But one of the wires is constant 12 volt. So that should work pretty well for what I need. That way the camera can record when the car's not on. Like if someone bumps the car or if there's motion detected. So I'll be using that. So I'm going to cut the cord that came with it again. I'm going to put a 4-pin CPU fan connector on the other end, and then a male connector. Obviously this connector is female, and then I just plug right in. So that's the plan. For the rear view camera, I have to check the instructions to be sure, but I think the BlackVue text is actually supposed to be upside down. So not exactly intuitive, but yeah, I'll just have to confirm that. Anyway, you're gonna want to put it at the base of the rear view window way up here in the back. That should be hidden pretty well there. There's a decent 2 to 3 inch piece of trim here, so you probably won't even be able to see this camera here. And again, I'll put it as close to the middle as I can, so obviously the lens is centered with the window itself. That way you get a nice centered view. And before I actually stick these in place, I'll wire them up and make sure the view looks correct, because these, again, are adhesive pads, so it's not the kind of thing you want to have to redo. Alright, so I got my wire. The straight end is for the rear camera, and the front has a right angle. So I think it even says F on it, so make sure you pay attention to that. So I'm going to leave enough slack so that I can know that I have enough to run it through. So I'm going to start from about here. There we go. So the wire's now here. So since obviously the camera's going to mount on the glass, I'm going to have to make sure I leave a loop that's long enough, you know, to actually reach the camera. And it's not great because when the door closes, there's going to be sort of a dangling loop there. But I'll have to figure that out. The best way to do this would be definitely to run it up through the grommet, which enters right behind the headliner, and then run it in through the trim of the windshield and come out right here. So it's possible that I'll do that at a later date. For now, I want to try it this way and see how it looks, because this is definitely the easier install. Alright, so I got the BlackVue app working. So there's the front camera, just have it on the seat, so there's not much to see. But I'm going to plug in the back camera so I can get an idea of the angle that I want to use. So I'll take the little lens cap off. Alright, so there's the rear camera, so it's upside down. There's a setting in the app to flip it 180, so I'm just going to try that. Right, so it's all repaired back there. I got the corner panel back in, and you can see the slack from the wire right there. So I'm going to pull the slack through, and I'm just going to accumulate the whole wire up front, because there's a lot of extra room, or at least some extra room back in here. I think I can either have some extra wire bundled in there, or maybe right inside here. So anyway, somewhere I'll be able to get all that extra wire, and there's a lot of it. They definitely include a lot of wire, so that's good. Alright, so I'm going to finish running this around the edge, and then go straight down through here and pull it out in here. Alright, so I was able to run that pretty easily. There's a little tiny slot here, and it fit like perfect all the way through. These tools made it really easy to get in here. First off, this black plastic piece literally just snaps right down, so that's excellent. I use this one to pry it down, and then this one just slid up underneath the headliner, just to open the gap a little bit here, and then I was able to fish the wire straight through back there. So that was actually much easier than I thought it was going to be, which is good. So now I have to, there's kind of two ways I can do this. So the camera is going to be here and the connection is going to be here. So I could run the wire on the inside of this black piece and out the front, but then the front's going to be, it's probably going to leave a gap here where the wire comes out, so it might look a little weird. The other option is to run the camera just outside the edge of this and along the edge and plug in. So I'm going to try the first option and see how it looks. I'm not going to cut the cable right now. I just want to finish this install and then get it working, and then I'm going to do the hard wire install. There we go. So here's that wire I was talking about in the beginning. That's the one that I'll be connecting to finally. And again, I think it's the green wire, the 12 volt. I'll have to double check that, of course, before I hook it up. But that will be part 2. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so here's the final install, at least for part 1. I did end up using wire clips on the outside. I liked it coming out the front, but like I said, it definitely pried it up a little bit, and you could tell it was crooked. And the clips didn't fully clip into place when the wire was out front, so this thing would come down really, really easily with just like a slight touch. So anyway, I wired it on the outside. This is the rear view coax cable, so I just have that going up in the corner just under the headliner there. There we go. So that's that. And then I wrapped up the rest of the wire, and that's the coax again, obviously. And I'm basically going to sandwich it between these two connectors.
Parking mode on.
Oh, parking mode's on. I'm going to sandwich it between those, and hopefully I'll just be able to hinge that up and close it without too much issue. Alright, so even though it's temporary, I ended up running the power cable up the side, and I'll clip it in. It's weird, these clips are only wide enough for one wire when they know that you have 2 wires. So it would have been nice if they were a little wider, so I could run the 2 wires right next to each other. But I guess I'll have to use extra clips, which just seems kind of silly. But I'll fix that after. So I ran it under the headliner. It was super easy to do until I got to the edge. So this edge, this corner up here, is a little tight. In fact, the wire's not even all the way in there, but I'm still working on it. So this here, this is the airbag, or there is an airbag behind this. So I want to make sure I don't run the wire in a way that's going to interfere with the airbag. So I was thinking I was just going to put it under, just directly under, and wrap it around and then down this way. Whoops. But that's going to wrap the wire in front of the airbag. So what I'm going to end up doing is taking this little bolt out and seeing if I can pull this back a little bit and get the wire behind the airbag. Not sure how easy it's going to be to do that, but I'm going to get in there and take a look. Alright, so I just popped it open. I don't want to take the whole thing off because it goes all the way down to this speaker grill and it's behind this next trim piece, so I just don't want to be taking all these trim pieces off. But you can see the airbag runs all the way up through this other trim piece here, back in there. So I mean it's a full curtain, so it runs all the way back there. But I will instead run the wire along the top of the trim all the way down along the windshield, and then pop it out down here after the airbag ends, and then run it along the trim. Oh look, I already pulled that one up a little bit. Oops. So I'll fix that and run the wire back behind that piece out and back in there somewhere, wherever it can fit. So I ran that wire up through there, down there, and you can see it poking through here. I set it for now, hopefully this is temporary, behind the floor mat, and it comes out the front corner of the floor mat, and that's about it. Just runs up to the socket there. So I am all done for now. So part 2, again, I'll show how I hardwire it into the into the area behind here, into that extra plug. So stay tuned.